I am currently rethinking everything. And I keep telling myself, it's okay to change your mind. I am allowed to change my mind. Oh, and I'm allowed to be wrong as well, I guess, about work and about people and about my self-expression and about what I want. I don't have to be loyal to a fault. Perhaps it's best I'm actually not, because that's dishonest. And for that matter, high-key parallels people-pleasing too. And that I've been running down. Admittedly, this is not the foot I wanted to start off on, meaning inconsistency due to the kind of circumstances that escape calculation. But this is just where I've been at, and that's okay too. The circumstances in question? Unanticipated grief and the unknown that accompanies doing something for the first time. For me, this whole year has been more akin to the discovery part of a new project rather than exclusively the closing out thereof. And that was definitely a leading contributing factor in feeling all over the place. Without me having even mentioned that last week I came to the same understanding, a friend reached out to check in and share that they're also going through a period of self-reflection and discovery. And that made me feel a bit less unchecked, if you will. Coming off of the high of hitting my goals last year, once the clock struck midnight, I mistakenly assumed a fresh start and reset of obligations as I have in years previous, aka 2 years ago. But this is literally a different business, and I am literally in a different era where I don't even wish old ways were the case. In other words, my expectations were wildly off, and I was too tired to figure that I was, in fact, embarking on a whole new journey, while still needing to close out, read over, and process my last. I think that's life, though. I mean, my entire adult journey has had strong seasons of self-reflection and discovery, and if I'm not mistaken, the same has been true for each of my closest friends. In my right mind, I love discovery. It's low-key where the magic happens, where worlds expand and also collide. You get a lay of the land you have your sights set on and get to charting your course. Whenever you're doing a discovery, you gotta stay open. You have to listen and be receptive. This isn't usually the time to lead the conversation because you don't have all of the relevant data. You don't know the context of the situation. But upon its conclusion, you can log your learnings, bank them, and reconcile them against everything you knew previously. But when it comes to reconciling what you have known against what you didn't even realize that you hadn't, in a personal sense, rather than in the case of work, that can be pretty alarming. I don't think we talk about grief enough, transparently enough. Like pay transparency, but for grief. I think that we would have such a great read on where someone's at, and even how we can best show up for them if the relationship permits. I heard that grief is unexpressed love, or a final strain of it or something. This year I had to go no contact with my stepdad for the first time. I thought we were making progress over the past 6 years, so imagine the heartbreak as I came to the realization. I wish it weren't the first time I'd been blindsided by this fork in the road, but it's not. I've had to protect myself and my tender heart before, from my biological dad after the divorce, and I realized that I truly just couldn't let someone play in my face like that when I was especially uniquely vulnerable. It was the first Christmas after the divorce. I was 7, I believe, when we came back to California, and my dad said that he was going to come visit for Christmas. Call after call, I can't wait to see yous were exchanged, and I ate them up. Well, Christmas Eve rolled around, and I sat up, staring at the front door, waiting, and ever desperately trying to keep my heavy eyes open until I fell asleep and awoke to no dad by the Christmas tree. I asked to call him after we unwrapped presents, and after I wore my family down with my pleading, they begrudgingly let me call him because I just had to hear it from the horse's mouth. He couldn't get time off work. The falling out of my stepdad was in the same vein, just as egregious and unimaginably insulting, just 20 years removed. I guess that's betrayal, but that's part of my story. And just as much as I wish it weren't the case, it is, and that's okay. I've been grieving the loss of my dad again. In making the tough choice to end a relationship, you have to ask yourself if you'll be okay forfeiting that held on to hope for the life you believed would be yours. And fortunately enough for me, this time around, I had realized the ways in which and how much the former has affected me, which of course brought more unanticipated grief, although the undertow felt a bit more slick. I'm immeasurably grateful that I've crafted a life that affords me the space, the support, and the resource to process all of my emotions as they come, as loudly as they announce themselves, which in and of itself can feel like a full-time job sometimes. It's wild that we all have our own lives, with events going on that some may never know about until due time, but affect how we carry on nonetheless. I believe I do a pretty good job at this, but realizing just how deep some wounds are, whether we're acutely aware of them or not, calls us to remember to be kind and patient most always. We just never know what someone is going through, and we don't know the difference our kindness can make on someone's day, evening, might it even be at just the right moment. I've been at the receiving end of random acts and moments of kindness far too many times to count, although you know I've tried. So I really did mean what I just said. I'm kind of trying to write this without tears billowing because I felt so emotionally turbulent over the greater part of the past 6 months, and I low-key wish I could just turn all of that off at this point, though I am certainly coming out of it. But on the other hand, pure reflection, meaning when your circle sees you and graciously shares their findings, has truly been my anchor as of late, my true north even. It was my 29th birthday last week, and I had damn near my whole heart under one roof. Under my roof. By plane, train, and automobile, most of my loved ones were able to come spend some time with me. Santi and Lauren made us the most divine vegan and gluten-free hors d'oeuvres and dinner. Devin and friends helped pace my drinking due to excitement, and the girls stuck together and played their parts. Words will not describe what this meant to me, but I can try and describe how I processed the abundance of loving support that I felt. Having most of the people who stuck by my side as my world turned on its head. A chosen family who've caught the falling layers of my truth as I unravel in the process, only to later help repin what they've come to see beneath the surface. Deliberately choose to show up for me sent me the strongest reminder that I am seen, that I'm loved, and that I matter to someone. This is trauma I've been working through for the better part of 8 years, probably a bit longer, but I'm relieved to share that I've connected a lot of dots over the past 2 months. Thank God. I am safe, and I am most certainly loved.